Today, we're looking at the 20th season at Motor Lublin. We've won the last 7 league titles. We've completed the League, Cup and Super Cup treble for the very first time. And now we've got one last thing to do in the Youth Academy Challenge Save to complete it. And that is to win the Champions League, which, given we've never got past the round of 24, might be a tall order, but we're going to try either way to see what happens next. This season, we are prepared and we are actually expected to be top of the table despite all the players coming back for their loan spells. We've got 6 players in the Media Dream 11, which is the most we've ever had. And I like to think that tells everyone just how good our side is, especially since we're using a fully homegrown team. Sponsored income, we're now 2nd place and £2.9 million per year is useful. Lek Boston still have more than us, which is a bit of a surprise, but I guess I can't be too upset. They are a good team despite all their problems in recent times. And the board now want us to win the League and Cup this year outright and to be competitive in the Super Cup, which pretty much tells me I need to win that as well. Everything else is good. We're developing the players using the youth system. We've got the best youth system in the country. We got the biggest reputation in the country, and we're never going to go outside our wage budget, which, if I did somehow go over my wage budget, it would be impressive to say the least. Financially, we got 129.3 million now, and I think we should be fine either way, especially when you look at the wage budget of only £271,000 a week being used. We got £1.4 million in wages to use. If I ever overspent on that, something has gone very, very wrong. So now we are going to go over our team, and it's easy to see what's happened here and where we are strong at. Novak is the top keeper here. He's in the Media Dream 11. Doesn't like big matches, but he's a star player. He's also 27 and has got 35 caps with Poland now. He is wanted by Liverpool, so I should be able to keep him, given he's got 4 more years in his con deal, and we got an option to extend his contract by a single year, so we should be good. Philip is wanted on loan, and Darmstadt are coming for him. He's our backup. He's a good player who could become a leading player for this division. And Darmstadt are in the 2nd Bundesliga, managed by one of my former staff members. It's kind of funny how that works, but yes, he actually left Swazwakov last year to become the Darmstadt manager, and he's looking to build his knowledge and to build his reputation by using the German leagues. Hopefully, he does well, and we don't have to worry about using him as a scapegoat for when our goalkeeper doesn't do very well. Darmstadt are expected to finish 10th, mind you, so that's a thing. They've also got bad training facilities. I assume they've had to sell theirs because of bad financial situation. They had to sell their youth setup 9 years ago, so that's what happened, and that's why they've had to upgrade everything since. They just literally could not pay for their facilities, and they had to sell something off to make room for things. So maybe Darmstadt's not the place to go. Sorinsky is another player who's considered a good player now. He's inconsistent though, and has been out on loan in the post leagues for the last 3 years. And he's been out on loan for the last 5. So he's definitely someone who's developed quite nicely because of his loan spells. He's also wanted by some teams around Europe. So again, could be useful to send out on loan. Well, Mario is now considered a decent player for this division and looks quite decent. He's not perfect by any means, but he's still useful either way. Looking at the right backs, we got a few players to talk about here now. Matthias Kowalski might be getting replaced this season, and that's not because he's bad, it's because of the players coming through that might be better than him. And that says a lot because he's actually a leading player first division, he's consistent, he likes big matches, though he might be getting in the way of some of the younger players coming through. Like Hubert, for example, he is now a good player first division. Yes, he's inconsistent, but he's only 19 and can definitely get better. Franzuk is a player that is also a good player. He plays on both wings, so he's very useful in that regards. But then we got Matthias Kasarowski, who is already a decent player for this division, who could be a good player actually, but he's only 17, can definitely get better, so an exciting young talent to say the least. The fact he's considered a 5-star potential player in our team is good. And then you got Lipka, who could play on both wings as well. He's a good player, so again, useful to have. And the other player to talk about on the fullback positions is actually a centre-back and left-back in Nida. He's actually potentially going to be let go at the end of the season after his contract expires. I haven't decided yet, but someone we can definitely let go of in the future. And then we've got our centre backs, and Ernest, our wonder kid, is still here. He's really good, and one could say he's the talisman to our team at this point. 4.5-star accountability player. He's a star. He's resolute. He's a wonder kid. Our first official wonder kid of the save. He's consistent. He can still improve a lot more. So he's got 18 caps at the age of 20. If he's not my new Michał Jaros, I don't know what he is. Only difference is he's actually better at the younger age. So there you go. We've also got Sebastian, who's only 20 as well. Also has caps for Poland. And is a leading player. He's also consistent. Can get better. But only by a slight amount. So I think this guy might not have the potential that Ernest does. But he still played the World Cup, which is great. Michał Smoda is a leading player first division. And he's a 2.5-star accountability player. If that doesn't tell you how good my defense is now in the centre-back positions, I don't know what does. He likes big matches, he's consistent, he's also 25, so he's a rotation squad player now. And he knows it, he's agreed to be a squad player, which says a lot. We've also got Madur, who's a 2-star accountability player in my lineup as a good player. And he's a fringe player, he agreed to be a fringe player. He's also inconsistent, so do I let him go? Busek was a player I was once very excited about. Then he got injured. Then I went and sent him on loan for the last 3 years. Then I discovered he doesn't like big matches. But he still is a good player for our division, so he could be sent out on loan or sold. I haven't decided yet. He is consistent. And I don't know. I think I will sell him at some point in the near future because I don't like players who doesn't like big matches that aren't actually very good. So Novak's the exception. He's actually really good. Despite the fact he doesn't like big matches, but there you go. We've got Dennis Nowaki, who's a good player in the DM position. Actually considered a leading player now, surprisingly enough, so that's good. He's consistent. Yes, he's got a thicker personality. I don't know when that happened, but he does. But he's good either way, and I think he could be a star. But Adam's back. He was on loan at Switzerland last year, and is now a good player. So definitely someone that's developed quite nicely from his loan spell and could be doing good things. I could send him out on loan again this year because he is inconsistent, so he's not perfect, but in an exciting player way, the fact that he played one game for my normal team, my first team, is saying a lot because he's getting better now, isn't he? Oh yeah, Damien's still here, and he's a squad player. He knows it too. He's won by Celta Vigo as well. He's got 2 years left in his current deal. He likes big matches, relishes them in fact. He's a good player, he's consistent, he's determined, though that's the only real thing I can really say about him at this point, because I don't think he's going to be my starter anymore, and if he does stay with me, he's going to be a squad player only, a backup player, so there you go. But now we go to the midfield. Smolak is good, he's in the midfield 11, I told you that was the case. He's a leading player for this division, they are liking him. He's also 25 now, so have we gotten to the point that he might need to be replaced in the near future? I think we might need to at some point, but that's just me. He likes big matches, he is consistent, he has a bad personality, which is my only issue with him, apart from his heading ability, but again, not the end of the world. Mariusz Jasinski is younger, though he isn't as good. He's both a DM and a centre midfielder. He is a leading player, he is consistent, but doesn't like big matches, so maybe I let go of him and sell him in the future. I don't know yet, but he's one of those players that we could definitely use, and he's fairly ambitious, so it could always have been worse. But with the likes of Beneki coming through and actually becoming good, there's always room for improvement. And yes, he's only a good player. Yes, he has potential to be better, and he's only got a balanced personality. He's one of those players that comes up with the goods every now and again, and I could just rely on him to do some good things, so he's got potential. I don't know how much better he'll get, though I will still trust him either way. And then we've got Michał Smelek, who was out on loan last year at Courtright. I don't think he developed, but he's still a good player, and I think could become a leading player, if not a star player in the future. I need to give this guy first team football. Breakthrough prospect. He's wanted, but on loan again. So do I send him out on loan again? That's my question now. I don't know. Right wing, I've got Davidovich here, despite the fact I'm not using him in the right wing anymore. He's a striker for me now. He's a star player, but he can also be played as a winger as well. He's only 22, got 13 goals in 22 games for Poland as well, so that's a good sign. But the real star for this position is this man, Podolski. Done really well last year. He's consistent. He is really good. He's only 19. He's a leading player for the division now. And he's driven. So there's that. The only thing that could ruin him at this point is potentially his big matches. Though I don't know how that'll work. But he's got a lot of pace in his side. He's good at crossing, good at dribbling, good at first touch. So very useful to say the least. I think he could be a star for us. I really do. But we've also got this guy who could be potentially good as well. Only difference is he's inconsistent. He's also older by 2 years. Fairly professional though. And he is a good player. So definitely someone we can utilize in the long term, I think. He's wanted on loan by a load of teams, which is very interesting. I didn't think that'd be an issue or a positive I could take from this. So maybe I send him out on loan. But we got this guy who's wanted on loan right now. He's had a bid from Courtright that's come in. He's a fringe player for me. He's also a good player, but he doesn't like big matches. So despite being consistent, that's a down on him. And Jacob Zielinski is still here. He still is a good player. He likes big matches. He is consistent. He's also had a bid from a Belgian team to take him on loan. And he's got 16 other teams wanting him on loan. So he's a very popular man. So I might send him out on loan again and just let him go at this point. I might just do that, honestly. This guy is useful on both wings. Podolski is a good player for the division, but is very inconsistent. It's the only issue I have with him. And if it wasn't for that, he would be definitely my first team plans more often. But that's an issue. Look at the left wings. We've got a few other players to talk about. Kimmich is still here, still doing good things. Leading player for the division, inconsistent, but likes big matches. If I can get the consistency up, that'd be amazing. Thomas Bozim was sent out on loan last year to Wolf Shahoof, played in our division, then had a really bad injury. He's still recovering from the torn calf muscle, but while he's inconsistent, he is a good player for the division, and he's only 19, so definitely could get better. The other player to talk about is this guy, and I don't know what to do with him anymore. Like, he's good. He's a good player, but do I use him? Do I still make him a leading player for our division? Because I think he could be, and that says a lot. Despite the fact that 2.5 stars is all he needs to become a leading player for his division now. That's how good this team has got him. That a leading player for this team on the wings is 2.5 stars. Then we've got the strikers. We've already talked about 3 of them, but Robert Kowalski is the last one, and he wants to leave. He's asked to leave. As much as I want to make him a one-club player, I don't think I can anymore. He's a good player, he's consistent, he likes big matches, but he wants to leave. He wants a new challenge, and after 212 goals in 402 matches, I might let him go. So that's a thing to talk about now. Would you sell Robert Kowalski because he's asked to leave? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on that down below. But still, this is our team. This is what we are expected to do. We've got the league in our hands. We are the best team now. We've won the last 7 league titles. We've done the domestic treble last year. All we need to do now is win the Champions League, and that might take a while still. So I don't know how to go about this year. I really don't. So what I do know is I'm not coming back for the Super Cup final. I will come back potentially for the end of the transfer window and see what happens from there. But anyway, I am going to end this here. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys will like and share this video, and that you'll subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. But anyway, until next time, goodbye, and well, good night.